those students are learning anything.
It's not even the teaching. It's not even the teaching. They may be teaching them, but how are you learning in that? Come on. How are you learning in that kind of environment?
And then you come out of that environment and you start supporting and you start crying and defending people who put you in that sorry state. Like, I don't understand. It baffles me, and that's why we are here, because about
It's
it.
not.
I've had sleepless nights. I've pondered over it over and over again. I can't find
For
answers,
me,
and that's why I'm here.
as for me, it starts with the education
Yeah,
system.
yeah,
Once you
yeah, yeah.
spoil that, if you take that away from somebody, if you take that mental capacity for somebody to just think and solve a problem and always depend on you for solutions, then if you take it away from an early age, you breed zombies, you breed slaves, you breed
Mm-hmm.
people that don't think logically. That okay, this is okay. Can you explain how a professor in the Nigerian university will serve as INEC chairman, returning chairman, cheat and make corrupt figures for criminals that will get into power and
For
not pay
primary
them?
school, for primary school dropouts, for
Thugs,
primary school dropouts, for thugs, for certificate forgers, a
soldiers,
professor, a professor rigging election for certificate
and they
forgers.
will
I
now
mean,
complain that the guy is not paying them.
it's not paying them for
Exactly.
and you want members of the Ministry of Violence to feel sorry for people like that. I mean, come on, man.
Hell no, hell no.
Come on,
Let
man.
us move on. Let us move on. This is what we were discussing behind the scenes for
Yeah,
director's cut to
this was the
see.
beginning of our conversation today.
Hey,
You know,
oh
we were
boy, sit down now.
I don't finish you. Plenty. Let him know that he's the owner. Okay, MD. This is MD. MD. Baba, Oya, come. This is the MD of this place, and he had farm that he planted all this yam, 24 acres. No, past 50 acres. He has more than 50 acres. And
Ladies and gentlemen,
God
this is
damn.
a Chinese man. Please let me talk. This is a Chinese man
Come
in
on, man.
Nigeria
Come
who
on, man.
has more than 50 acres of land and was able to harvest yam in
Come
that
on,
more than
man.
50 acres of land.
Come
But
on,
yet,
man.
the average man and woman, the real sons and daughters of Benue State, cannot farm in peace. But how is this Chinese man able to have over 50 acres of land in Nigeria in a place where Fulani terrorists is pillaging and raping on a daily basis? Please, the floor is yours. So, Director Scott, do you not believe the video? I know that you are angry because this is your state. I know you are angry. But
I
see,
know it. See,
this is the evidence here.
oh boy.
The average Nigerian cannot go back to their farm. But we have the Chinese stealing our resources.
And this
Cool
is
down,
this
cool
for
down,
me
cool
though.
down,
This
cool
is
down,
part of
cool
the
down,
reason
cool down,
why.
cool down, cool down, cool down, cool down, cool down. I dey tell myself cool down. Oh. I dey tell myself I dey tell cool down.
Okay,
And myself
okay.
I dey tell cool down, cool down, cool down.
This is the reason
You see,
why I find it very
hi,
difficult. Like, to feel sorry. To
Over
feel sorry
50 acres of land, remember that.
to feel sorry for Nigerians sometimes, because this in itself alone is unexplainable. How can a Chinese man have 50? First of all, this man has 50 acres of land, of farmable land. That's number one. And number two, he has a workforce that is able to farm, because I don't know the amount of machineries or the amount of tools that he's going to need, but he definitely needs a very strong and a very able to create that land. And he was able to afford himself, and he was able to provide himself with enough workers to cultivate 50 acres. In fact, they said over. I mean, I didn't say that. If you've seen this video, you can go online and find it, or you can look at the video again, watch it again, and listen to the details again. It's over 50 acres of land, and he was successfully successfully cultivated his land, and nothing happened. But the indigenous sons and daughters of that same geopolitical location of Nigeria cannot farm. And these are part of the people that the video you're watching now, the picture on the screen, this little boy here.
Please hold on.
He's one
Before you continue, Martinelli, let us play this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a video of a terrorist, of a Fulani terrorist, of an
Yep.
Islamic terrorist flexing
On
with
TikTok.
ransom money on TikTok.
Flaunting his wealth.
Da kuɗi na a ce ba zan huta ba wannan magana. Na nema a ce ba zan samu ba wannan magana. Na samu a ce ba.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a terrorist too.
The
This
guy
is a
even put
bloody terrorist.
the guy even put soundtrack on top of him.
Make we hear him again. See him put the soundtrack.
Can you interpret the video? Can you interpret
Bawoni Magana? No talking. No talking. Now, that's all he's saying. That Bawoni
No
Magana man
talking.
is no talking.
Uh-huh.
No, there's no word. Bawoni Magana.
He's basically telling
No
you that
worry.
he basically that nothing will happen.
Bawoni Magana, there's no word now. Now flexing the with the money for
And
your chest.
I'm flexing day. We see better money for chest.
Oh my god.
and
But yeah, before we go back to this article, Seth, let me even share this video. Before we even go back to the article, Seth. Before we go back to the article that Africa Wala is showing us, let me share this video.
Ṣe normal búrẹ́dì tẹ̀fi sínú báàgì yẹn ó yẹ mú jáde. Ṣé ìyá
This is
òwèrè ni?
Tinubu's
Ìyá yẹn dẹ̀ sọ fún òun wá
for
búrẹ́dì.
you.
Ẹ mọ̀ pé mo rí pẹ́ mú. Bọ́n ṣe kọ́kọ́ dé búrẹ́dì yẹn náà kọ́ jù sínú báàgì.
Nigerians are not stealing bread.
Búrẹ́dì yẹn ló kọ́ jù sínú báàgì.
this is what Tinubu has reduced Nigerians to.
Ó yẹ kí n jọ yín létí. Àbẹ́ ìyá ẹ̀dẹ̀ tún sọ pé ẹ wá bì. Ẹ̀dẹ̀ ó yẹ kúnlẹ̀ síbẹ̀. Ẹ kúnlẹ̀ síbẹ̀. Ẹ kúnlẹ̀ síbẹ̀ ṣe ya wèrè ni. Tí mo ṣe dúró tí mo fẹ́ ra ọ̀bẹ yẹn lọ́wọ́ yín. Tán ṣe kọ́kọ́ dé wọ́n yẹn gbé báàgì yẹn sílẹ̀ sẹ́yìn gan sùn ni wọ́n ti mú búrẹ́dì wọ́n ti fi sínú báàgì. Mo ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ pé mi ò ní wọn. Tẹ́ bá parọ́ mo lè ṣe yín léṣe.
I have a reaction to this.
Not for you go next. You've been away
Ìgbà
for a
tí
while.
wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé wọ́n tó wà láwọn fẹ́ ra búrẹ́dì ìyá yìí wá ń wá búrẹ́dì yẹn. Ìyá yẹn wá ń wá ẹni sùúrù ìyá yẹn wá ń sọ pé ẹnìkan tó wá bíbà tó lọ ló mú búrẹ́dì yẹn. Mo wẹ́sẹ̀ kan sọ̀rọ̀ fáwọn tí mú sínú báàgì. Wọ́n tún sọ̀rọ̀. Ṣé ẹ̀yà wèrè ni? Ẹ kó sì lọ tí ń fi bàjẹ́.
Your reaction, please.
So my reaction is, although that poor guy stole and stealing is not a good thing, Nigeria has turned everybody into a desperate organism trying to survive. But the idiot, the criminal that was recording him and putting his hands on him is another terrorist. He is not trying to save the day. He is not trying to put that guy out there for being a thief. No, he's just trying to oppress. That's because the traditional Nigerian mentality is to oppress the next person.
Could I just paid for the bread for him?
Exactly. Or just simply call him out and let him go. Why do you have to say, who the fuck are you, bro? But that's what Nigeria is, man. And that's why people like me have become cold to an average Nigerian, because these people naturally, I don't know if it's the country. You guys said I shouldn't give them an excuse any longer, but they have become cold criminals.
Doju ensin, Baba. Doju ensin.
Honestly,
we cannot keep excusing foolishness. We've done that for too long, and it seems like we are doing ourselves a very huge disservice by making excuses for ourselves all the time. We are not helping ourselves by making excuses, because
no, like, that's it. We cannot keep making excuses, for real. No, honestly, for real, we cannot keep making excuses.
And as a result of that, it has allowed a lot of our people to be deliberately stupid, because there's always an excuse at hand, even when people don't have excuse for their own foolishness. People make excuses for them, like the Canadian lady who was online in the last few days, and telling people to go and poison, telling him to
We definitely going to react to that video. We have to find
yeah,
that video.
and yeah, he's somewhere. I can't find the video online.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hope
don't worry. We'll get that video.
And do you believe that that lady didn't even have an excuse for what she did?
She did not.
And she did not. But people who listened to her and people who were supporting her and egging her on were the ones who were making.
I take down this level.
They were the ones making excuses for her, and I just said to myself, like, how long are we going to continue in this trajectory of excusing stupidity and excusing foolishness? Because we're not.
She was reacting. Sorry, Martinelli. Sorry, I beg no
Yeah.
vex. She was
No,
reacting.
go for it.
She was reacting, but I understand she was reacting to the video she saw about somebody saying something about, before she now made that video. But I wouldn't say that. In fact, where you live, Baba, they are itching to use you as an example, to
Yeah,
use
exactly.
you as an example, to show that this, our law is working. They can, if you understand where they come from, they can do some certain things or say some certain things and get away with it. But when it comes to us, you should always have it in the mind that if you live in the West, you should be very, very careful what you say. Now you get
Very
something to
careful.
lose, them not get anything to lose. They go use you as example. Because another person, they one place, they talk bad or they talk evil or they incite genocide or they stuff. No means they make you answer and back in the same bitter
Exactly.
coin. Especially when you live abroad. Because here, now they get law. They fit tell you say na 10 years and na 10 years you go like joke, you go to them.
You go do that 10 years.
You go do that 10 years. So
That woman is definitely going to jail. She can't escape it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They will use her as an example. They will use her as an example. How many of them now? How many of them don't talk some kind of things for their own radio or podcast? They a little bit to that this thing, but then not their own. They not they correct themselves, and we they live for their own place. So if you go to talk that kind open mouth threat like that, or they go use you as an example. That's where she failed to understand.
Yeah, and just to make a little correction with to what you just said, the lady in question wasn't reacting to anything. She was actually so because I did my own follow-up and I did my own
I thought she was reacting. That's why.
No. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, they were abusing the Oba of Benin and calling him homosexual and calling him all sort of names.
That's another topic on entirely where.
So, but do you actually know that it was this same woman that also instigated that conversation in that same chat?
Yeah. She was the same woman.
She was the
doesn't
same
strike
person.
twice in one place.
Okay, so what happened was the people that were egging her on were supposed to be telling her off and advising her not to say all those things she was saying.
Go that route.
They were supposed to reprimand her, so to say, but they didn't. Instead, they egged her on, and they actually went further by saying that she wasn't of the Eastern extraction. In fact, some people were even saying that she was from Edo, that is Ishan. And people were like, how can you be from somewhere and you're asking people to poison your own people? And
exactly.
That don't make sense. That don't make sense.
Please, let us look at what we have on our screen, because this is what we're talking about right here. Look at what's on our screen.
Yeah. No. This has been going on. This is Harare. So Harare is
Zimbabwe.
Yeah, Zimbabwe. Yeah, Harare is Zimbabwe. I didn't even know Zimbabwe was this beautiful.
You didn't know.
You didn't know.
I know it's beautiful. I didn't know it was this beautiful.
Well, I had like one of my good guys was Zimbabwe. I think me and him were good guys to Zimbabwe and all boys. The guy showed me some pictures on kind of places. I was like,
oh my god. Look at how clean. There's no part of Nigeria that is as clean as this. Unfortunately, there's no part of that. Even Abuja, even the presidential villa is not this clean. The roads in the presidential villa is not as clean as this. I highly doubt it.
Oh, I give you
No,
some
no, no,
small
no,
props now.
no. There's no need, see. There's no need to us. We've been living in self-deceit for too long, and it's not doing us any good. The
Give
whole
us some liquor. Give us some liquor juice, man. Give us some liquor juice, man.
no, man, no. Do that. Directors call the whole world knows that Nigeria is a shithole, bro. The jury is out there.
But that's true,
Everybody
though.
knows
Yeah,
this.
it's so embarrassing,
Everybody
guys. Some of the
knows.
questions that I get asked, man, bro, the things I go through over here, bro. The questions that
The
people
jury
ask
is
me is
out
like,
there.
God,
The Nigerians
they
are fucking shit.
know. They know these
Directors call.
things.
Directors
Yeah.
call. Our president is
Guy,
a convicted drug dealer, bro. Like,
see,
how do you
see,
defend that?
see.
Come
Not
on,
just only that.
come
How
on,
do you
man.
Now
Come on.
Nigerians,
come on,
see,
man?
honestly,
Come on,
I'm going
man.
to look for a video. The next video we're going to probably react to. It's people, it's foreigners coming to Nigeria and being surprised that Nigerians still call themselves giant of Africa.
I mean,
Do you
this
know
is
how people
embarrassing.
laugh at
We're
us
not.
when we call ourselves giant of Africa? Do you know the type of
We're
laughing?
Now
not
Man,
giant of
glory now.
anything. And the
Now
annoying
glory.
thing is, we can't be giant of Africa. As a matter of fact, we were giant of Africa, but we were carried away by that hype. We got lost in the hype of being called giant of Africa, and we failed to develop on that. And everybody else
Has
overtook
worked.
us in
Has
development. Everybody
worked.
else
They've
overtook us.
worked.
And
They've
guess what?
worked.
Guess what?
Have you
The
seen
rest of
pictures coming from Ivory Coast?
the rest of the world has left
Sorry, Cote
Africa,
d'Ivoire.
has
Have
left
you
Nigeria
seen pictures
behind.
coming from Cote d'Ivoire?
I was talking to
Wow.
I don't even need
Why
to
is
see
a beautiful place?
I don't even need to see Cote d'Ivoire. I don't need to see Cote
I
d'Ivoire
know,
because
man. These guys are
bro,
going, man.
directors
We
call.
don't. Did you watch African Cup of Nations? If you watch African Cup of Nations, you will know that Cote d'Ivoire has left us behind.
Let's not even go as far as African Cup of Nations. Please tell me that you don't know that Nigerians have been traveling to Ivory Coast for decades now to go and do
Boy,
business. Tell me you don't know that the Nigerians who live there, who are doing business and sending money back to Nigeria. Please tell me you
There you
don't know.
go.
steady,
They are
steady,
huge in
Exactly.
Nigeria. They are huge
steady.
For
Yoruba
decades. I don't need
communities,
I
I've
don't need to
known
Igbo
go
people there from
communities,
80s,
I don't need to I
70s.
there you go.
right from the
So
40s.
they've been doing better than us. So I don't need to go to it's the countries that are like countries like Rwanda that we know where they were 20, 30 years ago. Countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, what do you call this other
Botswana.
one? But all these countries,
Namibia,
South Africa, all these
Angola,
countries,
they've
Lesotho,
they've left us behind.
you've not left us
Boy.
behind. We are behind now. And it's embarrassing that Nigerians keep calling themselves giant of Africa. Look at the streets of Cote d'Ivoire. Look at how clean they are. Look at how people park their cars. Look at that. Look at the
one of these
greenery.
was it one of these is it South African countries that if the police stop you and then you present your ID, ask you for your driver's license, they'll just take a picture of your license and then they'll confirm whether you have car insurance, you have everything, your license and everything. I say, but in African countries, now police they work like this.
Bro, you have no idea, bro. Africa,
Yeah.
the rest of I was telling one emperor earlier today that in another 10 years' time, yeah, Nigerians will be running to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. In fact, Nigerians won't be able to enter Niger Republic anymore. In another 20 years' time, Niger Republic will be so difficult. You see that same Niger Republic and Nigerians just walk into free of charge. They just walk into without crossing the border, just step. Nigerians
Guy,
won't be able to
the
go.
way it is going now,
Nigerians, Nigerians
from
won't be
the
able to enter those countries
from the
anymore.
report I am seeing, the way it is going now, those guys are commissioning projects left, right, front, and center. And I mean,
Directors
They
what?
just did something. They did something
economic
extremely remarkable.
impactful.
They've
You know what
secured
these
their
guys
gold
did
mine. They've secured
in
their
Burkina
gold
Faso?
African while ago. What did you say,
Bro,
African while?
in Burkina Faso, they nationalized their gold mines. So we
That's
understand
it.
that European
Oh.
countries
Wow.
have been the ones in control of all these major,
Yeah.
just the same way that European countries are the ones in control of the oil, whatever, in the Niger Delta. Imagine Nigeria nationalizing the Niger Delta, in which all the oil companies are Nigerian, so the revenue comes back into the country. And that's exactly
Exactly.
what Burkina Faso did. They took over all the gold mines that were controlled by the British and the French. Now it belongs back to the Burkina Faso people, all thanks to Ibrahim Traore and the military junta.
That's the way. See, follow
So
person is Sabi road.
whereas in
Have you?
contrast, Nigeria has mortgaged all their natural resources. They've collected advance fee for resources up to about 20, in some cases 30, in some cases 40 years. So Nigeria, so as we are talking, as we are discussing, as we are watching this video from wherever you're going to be watching this video right now, Nigeria don't have access to their natural resources. They don't have a say in what happens to their natural resources for the next 20, 30, 40 years,
That
depending on
means
the natural resources we're talking
that
about.
means if you dey travel now, if you just the travel get like fly from Nigeria go outside, as you reach one kind of place, they could just hold you, put you on top
Yeah,
another
because
express
we
plane.
are in debt.
Move
Nigeria is
you
in
to the
debt.
country where in Nigeria. Oh,
Nigeria is owing
This,
everybody.
this is what we're talking about.
oh
Yeah.
boy!
And
So
Yeah,
they
then
don't
this
they
is
see
your screen.
so they don't they see
this
Scolu plane everywhere and houses
this is
everywhere
a
for UK.
country. This Burkina Faso is a country that is God knows how many times, half or a quarter size the size of Nigeria, but they've been able to get control of their gold mines from
Exactly.
the same
Mm-hmm.
British that our own criminal politicians and our own criminal leaders are happily frolicking and happily romancing in bed with every time. They're romancing them. And this British, imperialists, they don't care about the people of Nigeria. They don't care about the people of where they are exploiting. They don't. All they are interested in is the resources that they are getting from a particular
If now
location.
you go care.
Well, yeah, I
If
would.
not now you go care.
That is one thing. That is one thing. You see, Director Scott, what you just said now, that is one thing the average Nigerian doesn't know. That is one thing they don't know. The average Nigerian think that the average imperialists or the British Empire or the Europeans, they care about the average Nigerian, but they don't.
Wake
The
up!
average
You need to give your head. You need to give your head a serious
no,
wobble.
they need to
Wake
give
up!
themselves a serious wobble because the imperialists, the
No
British
one
Empire,
is coming to save them. That's what they need to know. No one is
they
coming
don't
to save them.
they don't care. All they're interested in is the uranium, the gold, the crude oil, the cocoa,
The timber, the cocoa, everything.
that's all they care. And right now, what they're interested in is the lithium. That is the latest gold now. Lithium for batteries in China. And for those of you who are wondering why there's all of a sudden there's so much Chinese all over Africa,
Boy, they
it's
mine
because of
lithium for Benin
lithium.
State
They
like
are
they
in
mine
fact, these
lithium for
people are
Benin State
mining.
like
These
water.
people are mining lithium like lithium. They are mining it like if they don't mine it, the lithium will disappear. If you go
They
to
are not
Benin
just
State right
mining
now,
lithium. It is lithium and timber. You know, say Chinese people they bombonia, they don't level up their land. They no
yeah,
get timber.
yeah,
They
yeah.
move lithium and
Good
timber.
wood. Good wood.
Yes, good wood. Guy, do you know the type of wood we have? We have oak and mahogany in Nigeria. Oh.
Oh boy.
Unbelievable.
They are taking our timber, but Nigerians they are focused on watching Big Brother Africa. So let them keep watching Big Brother Nigeria.
Still
And that
fight
is what
for
they
it.
want.
It's priority. One day they will be traveling, and when they reach their interchange, they will just tell them your next flight is to Xinjiang provinces, where you go where you go
To
and
to
start working there.
to Xinjiang concentration camp.
Concentration camp. They will prepare a very very good village for you all, man. You can go there and you can start work. Buhari sell oil where you call look buy all refineries. I hear say Dangote don dey produce now. How ironic! Dangote is producing oil now, and oil has not petroleum now,
It's
and petroleum has
refining
now
petroleum.
jumped.
to 1,000
It's now
naira.
jumped to 1,000. Immediately the
Imagine,
guy started, oh boy, I just
imagine,
laugh. I
Director
just
Scott,
imagine.
Director Scott, if you look at this, if you look at all this, if you look at all these happenings, if you look at it very well, it all looked like a game. It looked like a game that Kolu, that is President Tinubu and Dangote. It looked like these people they play. It looked like they played Nigerians.
Not that it looks like they played
No, what are
Nigerians.
you talking
But
about? It looks
I mean, I have to
it's
say,
this,
I
this,
have to.
this the playbook.
I know I have to sound like a naive person. If I talk like if I say it with indefinite terms, it will sound like I was in their meeting when they were having all this conversation. So I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound like I was in there, unfortunately. But you know how we know all these things because we've been following all the charts, and we've been following all the happenings from inception. So we are privy to the details that the average Nigerians are not privy to. So we know that these people, they are all in bed together, they are all in cahoots together. A lot of people have actually forgotten that Tinubu, quote unquote, he owns Lagos. So the land that Dangote built that refinery is owned by Tinubu. So
Not the same WhatsApp group.
So invariably, Tinubu owns part of Dangote refinery. So all these people, they are all in cahoots together. All these people, they are all in bed together.
The same WhatsApp group.
The same WhatsApp group, the same administration.
When Dangote came out the other day and was crying that that the government are trying to sabotage him, and I'm asking myself, like, how can the same government who gave you all the money you used to build your refinery, how can they be coming to sabotage you? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But for those of you who were wondering why Dangote was crying the other day, now you know why he was crying. He was just trying to.
They're talking about the same elite. Are they not the elites? Are you in their group? You don't get their group contact now. They do the same WhatsApp group they all day. I find it very.
Yeah, you find it very. I mean, listen.
So I find it very, 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 very. I can't place my finger on top of it, Baba.
Look at terrorists.
I don't even understand why the hell is the Minister of Defense wearing military fatigue. Like, I don't
exactly.
Is he a military man?
No, he's not. He's not even an ex-military man. He's not even an ex-military man. But
he's not a military man. He's not even an ex-military man. Why is he in military attire?
He's wearing
full gear. Full gear.
Exactly.
And then you have generals.
Yeah, they don't give up.
And then you have generals, real generals there surrounding him.
Yeah, this guy is a general. This one is a general. This guy. Yeah, this guy right here is a general.
That's it.
The other guy, this one emerging from the airplane, he's a former governor that stole 40 cars. Okay, this is a thief.
Matawale.
Yeah, Matawale. He stole 40 cars. It shows you that Nigerian politicians are very, very useless. How can you have billions and you're still stealing cars? But that's the mentality of Nigerian politicians. Now, the other guy, another criminal record that he has is he was in cahoots with the Fulani terrorists. We've seen them together in the Zamfara government house in 2021.
Specifically, Bello Turuji.
Yes, specifically Bello Turuji.
And from reports, we heard that he is in Sokoto to have a meeting with the same Bello Turuji, because for those of you who don't know, if you go on the internet, if you go also all over social media space, Bello Turuji has been online calling out our minister of, the Nigerian Minister of Defense for his involvement.
The government is actively negotiating with terrorists.
Yes, Nigerians know this, my brothers. Nigerians know this. It's all over Twitter. It's all over YouTube. All you have to do is to go and search it. It's all over everywhere.
Now, I need people to understand from another angle. So this is literally like you giving your baby. You gave your baby to a lion. Okay, and you told the lion, look after my baby, I'll be right back. Of course, the lion is going to eat your baby. So that's like you
before you come
giving
back.
the position of the Minister of Defense to a terrorist, literally a terrorist and a thief. A thief and a terrorist is the Minister of Defense of a country that is terror-ridden. What do you expect to happen? And the only reason why Tinubu did this is because Buhari did the same thing. All the guys that Buhari
Exactly.
appointed were all criminals, and nobody could do anything about it. And guess what? You see all these generals? These are actual generals. Well, they are still fake generals because in Nigeria, you become a general by through nepotism.
I'm so
The way you
ashamed
become a
of
general
Nigeria.
is, if you can kiss ass, if you can lick the bomb of a politician,
The
then they
military
might
is
promote you
not
to become a
supposed. The
general.
military is
You
not
don't
supposed to
become
be doing this. The military
Yeah,
is not supposed to be
exactly.
doing
This is
this.
why the failed state
Ashamed.
Nigeria. We're just showing you guys some
I'm
intricate
ashamed of Nigeria.
information of why Nigeria is
For
not
those
going
of
to
you
make
who are,
it.
for those of you who are wondering, this
Never make
gentleman,
it.
this gentleman in the baseball hat, in the camouflage baseball hat, is a serving minister. He's a minister. He's not a military personnel. He has never served in any military institution. He has never served. He has never occupied any military, post. He's just a minister. He's a civil minister, and he's donned in full military fatigue. Please,
A full military gear. This is shameful. Honestly, this is shameful.
If not me now, they would all beat me. They would all beat me. Pull my boxers.
They will beat us. If I should wear camouflage, they will beat us.
This is the boy here.
This is for
This
those
is
of
the
you
boy.
who are wondering.
Thief.
This is the same person. This is
A thief.
the man in military fatigue just now. This is the same
This is
person.
him.
And
A
for those
common
of you who are wondering, for those of you who are asking questions and say, "Oh, maybe it's okay," is that please, if you know of any country in the world where their minister of defense or their minister, even in America, I don't think their minister of defense has in any way done full military fatigue, even when they go to
No, it is
Not
mostly
even not even at celebrations.
no. Guess what? It is mostly military men that
Men.
become Secretary of Defense, not
Okay,
civilians
okay.
in America.
Then they will
There
have
you
to wear
go.
their uniform.
Of
There
course,
you
you
go.
see them wear their uniform. It's mostly
Right.
military men that are Secretary of Defense in America. No civilian has.
Okay.
It's only military men.
Guess in what other countries where there are military guys that have no military experience, they are leaders of defense that have no military experience, wear military gear. Guess where?
Yeah. Where? Nowhere.
Afghanistan.
Okay.
Afghanistan.
All right.
True.
So there's actually one place.
Africa, wahala, bad guy.
You actually found the place. Okay. So because I was
Yeah.
Afghan, long. Afghan, long.
Afghanistan.
They say one that Boko Haram gave $1 million to $1 million to.
Yep.
Yes, so
Yeah, that is
the same one indeed.
Nigeria is a member of the Islamic community of nations, or Islamic community of countries. So, and as a result of that, you have to pay yearly or annual contributions. So I think for that particular year, that was our annual contribution or quarterly contribution as they normally pay for their
So
jihadist movement.
they gave us
So,
receipts.
Yes. We got receipt for that.
Okay.
We
We
did
got receipt for
get
that.
receipt for that. So,
Good one,
ladies
good one,
and
good one.
gentlemen, for those of you who are wondering who this man on your screen picture is been taken off, that's the current Minister of Defense. He was a governor of a state in Nigeria. The state is called Zamfara. And for those of you who don't know Zamfara is the most terrorized state. I want to call it one of the most terrorized, but I'm trying to compare and contrast. I think the other, the next closest state will be
It used to be
Kebbi
Borno.
and
It used to be Borno, but
yeah,
now
Kebbi and Borno.
it's not between Zamfara.
It used to be Borno and Kebbi, but now it's Zamfara. This man was a governor of that. As we are talking right now, there are parts of Zamfara that are regarded as where
Yeah, it's breaking.
Yeah, Martinelli, you are breaking up, being in that same position.
okay. How about now?
Has embraced this initiative that's coming from the state government. Addressing a gathering in Gusau, Zamfara State Deputy Governor Hassan Nashisha says for the past 5 weeks, no record of clash between the Fulani community and Hausas, especially in 3 affected local government councils, as a result of the dialogue to broker peace between the 2 warring factions. The 3 communities in Birni, Magaji, Shinkafi, and Zurmi local government areas were danger zones due to activities of the popular bandit leader. He adds that the singular action by bandit leader Bello Turji, who has promised not to attack communities again, has brought about relative peace in the 3 local government areas. Bello Turji is a known bandit leader terrorizing communities in northern part of Zamfara state.
So if you don't understand what just happened in that video, a known terrorist, and this is from 2022, a known terrorist, Bello Turji, whom last week attacked a military convoy in Sokoto, bombed 2 armored personnel vehicles, carted away tons of sophisticated weapons. This was just about 7 days ago that this happened. This guy brokered peace with the government of Zamfara. That was
just
Matawali.
just 2 years ago.
And
Just
telling
2
them,
years ago.
you know what the deal of the peace was? I, a terrorist leader, will provide security in this community. That was the peace. And that's why Nigeria will never make it, my brothers.
So the terrorist or the bandit is now, they would like to call them.
Yeah.
is now
So for those of you
providing
who are trying to,
security.
for those of you who are trying to wrap your head around, what we mean when we say Nigeria cannot make it. So try imagining using an armed robber, or try imagining using a home burglar or a
A
burglar
baby as your
as
no,
a-
try using a lion as your babysitter.
as your babysitter, or let's put it in a more realistic context now. Try imagining somebody who just got released from prison for home invasion. He hasn't gone through any rehab, he hasn't gone through any what do you call it, any sort of probation or anything. He's literally just fresh off prison for robbery and home invasion. And then you ask that person to come and be a security in $1 million mansion. Ladies and gentlemen, you're asking for trouble.
They are looking for problem.
You're looking for somebody just got released from prison for home invasion and robbery. No rehabilitation, no probation, nothing. And you just asking to be the security of your house. In fact, you're not even asking him to stand outside. You're asking him to be a security inside the house.
Alright,
Ladies and
if you come
gentlemen,
back
you're
to that
asking for
house, if
trouble.
you come back, that
That
house is
is
still there. He's still standing there. That
that
guy
is
go come
exactly
and
what
beg for
Nigeria
blood.
is. And this is not the first time it's happening. This has been happening for decades now. In the Niger Delta too, the Nigerian government contracted people. They contracted bandits in the Niger Delta. That's what they are. But they will tell you that they are militant, but they are criminals because
They
their
are
day job is
terrorists.
their day job is to sabotage pipelines and and steal oil and then leave loads of spillages and blame the spillage on the government, even though the government too, they are also involved in their own oil
Let's
spillage
not
and
let's not even go
in
there.
their own. Let's not go there. But the people who are supposed to be crying out and calling out the government, they are also engaging in even worse crimes than the government, because the government are stealing all their crude oil of vessels. They are stealing it. They are committing their crime legitimately, but these local criminals, they are committing their own crime and putting themselves at risk. In fact, sometimes when these people, for those of you who don't know how bunkering goes, it's a life and death operation. Like, you could go for an oil bunkering operation and there could be a spark and everybody will be blown to smithereens, and that happens a lot
On a
But
daily
these people
basis.
It
It's
happens
a
on a daily
Russian
basis.
roulette.
It's like a Russian roulette, but these people don't care. They keep going because for them it's free oil, and there's always a willing buyer. There's always a ready buyer, to give them money that they use to buy weapons and to arm themselves, to fend off the naval boats who are parading or who are trying to secure the the oil pipelines and all that. So you have all these criminals. So they have all sorts of names they call themselves. The Niger Delta blah blah blah, whatever. But these are criminals. So in the early 2000s, the government also reached a deal with people who are vandalizing Nigerian pipelines to be the ones to be guarding those pipelines from vandals. Now, please tell
How
me,
does that make
How
sense?
how
How
does
does
that
that
make
make
sense?
sense?
Please
Paying
tell me
people that is destroying national
destroying
Where
assets
is
pipeline
it?
to
Where is
guard
the
national
navy?
assets.
to
Where
come
is the
out.
navy?
So
Where
please
is
tell
the
me.
navy?
So now, well, yeah, where's the navy? So please tell
Where is
me,
the navy?
haven't
Oh, you said where's the
haven't
Navy? These guys provide security for the Navy. They protect the Navy.
so
Yes,
now
now they
please tell
protect
me.
the navy.
So now tell me, please, how can Nigeria make it now? When we say Nigeria can never make it, so please tell me now, knowing
Let
all
me
these
let me
facts,
provide more
how
insight. Let me
can
provide
Nigeria
more
make it?
insight. Let me provide more insight, bro. These guys are normal, terrorists. They went to steal military uniforms,
Mm.
sophisticated machine guns. Only God knows where they got all that stuff from. But these guys that are killers, kidnappers, killed many, many people. They were given a contract by the government to protect the oil installation because the government does not have the capacity to. Is that a country? And will such a country make it? Is this not
Nigeria
an
can make it.
incentivizing process to encourage more people to join terrorism? And that's
Of
why
course.
Nigeria will never make it, my brothers and
Yep,
sisters.
it can never make it. And on that note, I think we should
Start
round up
wrapping it
and
up.
and call it
See,
a night because
look,
we
man. We have. And
be
in
here
fact,
all
I was
day
about
and
to
all
even
night
say that. Exactly, I was even about to say that.
because
We've
we'll
been
be
here
here all
for.
day if we keep an hour and 48 minutes. So I think it's
Look,
time for us to round up and
exactly.
because we'll be
See,
here
when
all
it
day.
comes to Nigeria, when it comes to Nigeria, we have content for this. We can say a lot of things, but the ministry of violence, I as your archbishop, with my fellow bishops and popes of this great temple, we
Don't
are we
forget the
are not
reverend.
here to play with you. We are here to tell you the truth that Nigeria is not for anyone. So on that note, thank you for watching. Do like, share, and subscribe. If you like. If you like, subscribe. That's your problem. We do not care over here.
No, we don't. We
But
don't.
yeah, but we are just here to tell you the truth. Have a good day
Yeah, and
and goodbye.
and to round it up more, if you are not a fan of Nigeria and the criminals in Nigeria, then I think you're on the right platform, and we'd love to see you here some other time. So thank you very much and good night. Good night to my fellow bishops and popes, and we'll see you here again on the Ministry of Violence. Thank you very much.
Later, fellas.
Later, fellas.